What's going on, Reefers? Blaine here. In today's video, we return back out to Dallas, and today, Jed and I are delivering a special delivery of not only fish, but coral as well for our customer, Dereck. If you're not familiar with what Dereck does for a living, it looks a little something like this.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever.
That's right, in today's video, we're gonna be hanging out with Dallas Mavericks player Dereck Lively, talking all about his experiences in the aquarium hobby and also the new addition of saltwater in his home. We're taking you through the journey of bringing coral from our farm here in Winter Park, Florida, all the way to Dallas, Texas, where we hand deliver it. Also, stay tuned till the end of the video where Dereck comes out, shops in the retail store, and checks out the farm. Let's dive in. Good morning, Reef Keepers. It's a bright and early day this Friday. We're getting ready to head out to Dallas, Texas. It's gonna be a fun trip. We're also making a trip out to do a special delivery for a special someone. I'm really excited about this video here today as we make our way out to Dallas. We've got a bunch of corals that we're gonna be bringing out. We're bagging them up now. We've got a nice special fish that we're bringing. Let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
Oh! Ho, ho. I heard Jen say it a little bit earlier. It is very interesting to see the farm so early in the morning. We've flipped all the lights on, right? We've kind of startled all the fish and startled the tanks in general, but to see all the tanks, you know, as they are kind of asleep is quite interesting for sure. Not seeing the hustle and bustling. Corey, the farm manager, is rolled into the farm here, but that's pretty much it. Me, Corey, Jed, and it's pretty quiet here in the farm, but we're finishing up bagging up corals now, and then we're gonna make our way to cargo and drop this stuff off. Good morning, Reef Keepers. We're here in Dallas, Texas. We've made it. It was a crazy day yesterday. We dealt with quite a lot of things going on.
Well, we got the cool car.
I'm gonna try to be as pleasant as I can be. But for all of you that have not seen or met me in person, I am 6'3", 6'4" almost, and I am covered in bags, things, stuff. And we're in, cool Camaro. It's tiny. It's so tiny.
Hopefully everything's okay. It's been a trip so far. We've been here an hour. All right, let's get to the hotel. Everything is okay. The box did get a little busted. There was some water, but we just checked everything. It looks like everything is okay, so that is great news.
The box was a little wet, so we rushed back to the hotel. Everything's fine, just a little bit of condensation from the bags, all the stuff that's in there. But me and Jed are extremely excited because today we're actually heading over to Dereck Lively's house. This is one of the starting centers for the Dallas Mavericks. Not many people know, I used to be a college basketball player. Jed used to play hoops. We are huge hoop fans. We love hoops. And so the fact we get to drop off a box to an NBA player from TopShelf is an awesome experience. And we're gonna be checking out his systems as well. Let's make our way over and let's go check out Dereck's place. Reefers, we've made our way to Dallas, Texas, and we are here hanging out with Dereck Lively. Dereck, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you letting us come by, see the house, see everything, whether it be the freshwater, saltwater. Let's get right into it though. Let's talk about this tank first, and then we'll talk about the hobby. What size tank do we have that we're sitting next to?
This is a 139 gallon, where at least up top it is. I think in total it's 150 between all the sumps. But man, this is my huge jump in the fish hobby. You know, understanding just everything that comes with saltwater, it definitely was a little big jump for me.
So you were big into the freshwater side, right? I mean, as soon as you walk through the door, you see your amazing selection. The discus are beautiful, by the way.
Appreciate
I love
that.
your discus. So when did you get to the transition when you wanted to say, hey, let's do it. Let's get salty with it?
I think it was right around, Christmas, New Year.
Okay.
And it was kind of just like the leap of faith of like, I was just doing a bunch of research of if I should do salt or if I should not do salt, and just try to figure out if I should start small or do big. Clearly, I don't like small. So it was probably the start of December, I ordered this tank, and it finally came in probably second or third week in December. And from then it was just letting the water sit for 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and then slowly putting in some coral. And it actually took me a little bit of time for me to put in some fish.
The fish, you just said the fish. I mean, I love the tang group you got going on. And I'm gonna say, pretty surprising that you're able to have them maintain and hang out in this system.
Yeah.
We've seen a little bit of fighting here and there, but the black tang, the purple tang, the new blue tang. I mean, you've got some really nice fish in here. How'd you decide on your fish? Obviously you have some working fish, right? You got the tangs to do some jobs, but how'd you go about in choosing them?
Honestly, I think it started off with, I think I got 4 clowns and the hippo tang first. Those were the first ones that I added in to make sure that my water was good, make sure all my levels were good. And everyone's always talking about the black tang. But my favorite color is purple. So I went chocolate tang, purple tang, and then the black tang.
Nice. And then, so you obviously were adding them one by one. Did you utilize this acclimation box the whole time? I know sometimes people talk about the issues, people at home watching, when you're looking to add in tangs into your tank, sometimes it can be difficult, right? Mm-hmm. Introducing a new player into the game. How did you kind of go about the aggression? Was it mainly utilizing that acclimation box?
Crazy enough, I never used the acclimation box.
Interesting.
I put them straight in.
Straight in and no issue. Now you've used it though, but you're using it for the clownfish.
The clownfish, sadly. The purple tang and the black tang still go back and forth a little bit, but it really just comes down to whenever I would put a new tang in, I would add something else in as well. No matter if it would be shrimp, different coral, or just like trying to make sure I'm feeding before I'm putting them all in. So, the new fish can go and hide.
The aquascape's perfect for that too. You have a lot of breaking in vision. I've mentioned that in a lot of videos. I think sometimes people forget, the fish in the natural world, they have a lot of breaks of vision. They don't see each other all the time. In a tank, you're kind of stuck in this, cube area, right? You need to find ways to kind of break that line of vision. The scape is set up for you to have a lot of coral growth.
Yep.
Let's talk about the corals. We talked about you liking the flow of the LPS, got some soft corals. I know you have a couple new pieces that we brought out with us here today, so we'll definitely be putting those in during the video, but let's talk about your choices of corals, why you go with those. Looks like kind of a mixed reef overall though.
It's definitely a mixed reef, and as I was starting to do the mixed reef, I started to notice what side I kind of tend to. The torches, the frog spawns, the hammers, they jump out at the most, because it was just really understanding of where is a specific coral gonna go.
Right.
I remember I put a hammer right by the flow machine, died. So that was kind of just understanding of just where each coral was kind of happy at. I kind of put the torches, I always just love to see them flow, so I had to put them at the front of the tank. And now, slowly, because my people down here, I'm getting into ganies now. So now the ganies are starting to try to take over the back part of the tank. And now it's just trying to find just the symmetry of where everybody can be happy.
For sure. I got to give a big shout out to Jed. Jed's helping run the camera this weekend. Jed was basically the person who helped connect us together. And I mean, I kind of was blown away. I won't lie. I was laughing to myself when Jed came up to me and said, "Hey, you know Dereck Lively, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know Dereck Lively is." He goes, "He watches your channel." And I was like, there's no way, right? And that's what I think is so cool about this hobby too, is that there's so many people in the hobby that don't realize how many other people are into fish keeping, right?
That's the fact.
Such a cool thing, right? You've been watching Paul, he's on the channel with us. There's just so many people you meet in this hobby, which I think is really cool. Let's talk about some of the corals we ended up picking out for you, what we're bringing in. I know we're bringing a lot of nice colors. We also brought another fish too. So we've got some really nice stuff that we're gonna be bringing into the tank. Let's talk about some of the things you picked out and why you ended up picking them.
Let's do it. I'm ready for you.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's check it out.
Gotcha.
Here is really the crown jewel, the new baby of the tank, right? Your tiny new gem tang. So you were talking about how you love tangs, right? So we decided we needed to hook you up with a gem tang. And then there's a bunch of torches, a bunch of fire stuff in here, man. So we'll be getting that in. We'll put that into the tank. But I just wanted to kind of get back to the system itself. Maintaining it wise, do you have a company coming out working with it on you on most of your systems, cleaning it up? We talked about it offline. I think, you know, with your job, you know, the traveling that you do all the time, have you considered putting on, you know, a controller? We talked about it, right? Something to have a little bit more control over the system, knowing what's going on. Is that something you've always thought about?
Yeah, you know, it's just, I didn't know I had to take that step. And it's always better to do it and automatically just doing it instead of you having to remind yourself or setting a timer for you, you know, might do it on time, might do it the right way. But it's always that human error factor.
For sure.
So just having that auto doser, you know, me and Jed was talking and it was just, I didn't know which one to get. I didn't know which way to go. And if I'm gonna get something, I'm not just gonna get something to throw it in. I gotta do a little bit of research and I gotta figure out if this is the right thing for me. And like I said earlier, I'm not gonna get the little one. I'm gonna get the most expensive one so I don't have to worry about nothing. You putting too much money in here for you to cut corners.
Exactly, cutting corners, and this is not the hobby, right? I think, and on top of it all, we're talking about animals, right? You know, you got your dogs, you got your fish, you got all these animals, right? We care about them more than anything. I think, you know, you probably view these just the same as your dogs, right?
Honestly,
I mean, they really are.
I named probably more than half of them.
Exactly. So that's what's so cool. You know, let's talk about what you're feeding the fish. What are we feeding these guys?
So I do a mixture of brine shrimp and mysis shrimp, and then I'll pour that like a spoonful in each morning, each night. Sometimes I'll do a little bit more, a little bit less. It really depends on who's acting up and who's, you know, kind of getting along. And then of course I'll just figure out how much seaweed to put in there. Was definitely a challenge because at first you put a little bit in and you turn away and you look back, it's gone. And then you put too much in and then you got your whole tank is all murky and it's filled with seaweed. So it's just kind of finding that sweet level of, like y'all said, of just rolling it, breaking it down, and just kind of keep folding it to make sure that the fish can get to it and it doesn't get everywhere in the tank.
Something that we do at the farm, it's a little tough every once in a while when you try to put seaweed into a tank, you have all your tangs, they immediately want to rip it open and get that seaweed, right? I've talked about potentially an upgrade in the future, right? So obviously this tank, right? And I feel like that's the saltwater bug, right? Once it bites you, it's never stops, right? So talk about wanting to maybe upgrade. What size tank would you want to go with if you were to upgrade?
It got to be a couple hundred.
It
got to be a couple hundred, but it's got to be long enough for the light to be able to pierce to the bottom, but at the same time for there not to be too many dead zones where I can't put any coral. Because that's really the love. It's just looking in there, seeing the fish cohabitate with the coral is kind of my favorite part. You know, the hobby of just having a different environment, just sitting in your living room or sitting in your office, and you can only make it right. You know, anything going wrong, it's your fault. And you got to be able to make it right. You got to find people to make it right. And that's probably the hardest part.
That is. I think that's a great point. You know, you are ultimately in control, right? They're depending on you. It's really important that you go out of your way and you do everything possible. I ask everyone, Dereck, I think it's one of the best questions I got to see whenever Jake Adams was around for Reef Builders. He asked every single person, you know, a piece of advice. If you had to give someone getting into the hobby, you're newer to saltwater, right? So I think this is a perfect example. You know, you've done freshwater for a long time. You've kept fish, right? So you're not new to the game, right? You understand how this all works. What's a big piece of advice you would give a new reef keeper, a reef keeper in general, coming from yourself?
Go slow with the fish. Just go slow with the fish, because I feel like the fish in saltwater, the fish is more trickier than the coral, because each fish has their own personality. A fish is supposed to come in and do a specific job and they might not do his job at all. You know, it's kind of just finding the perfect feng shui of like fish you need, fish you like, and fish to kind of make everything kind of go together. It's just understanding your thing. But back to what I meant, coral, then a fish.
I love it. That's good. You know, for us, obviously, TSA is big into our aquaculture, the corals in general. That's a great point. Fish can be tough. They are really hard. Each fish is individual too, right? They're gonna act a different way. They're gonna be different than another tang, right? You know, you have, say your blue tang, you know, is acting different than another blue tang in another system, right? Not every single fish is programmed like a robot to act exactly that way. But Dereck, you know, I want to say thank you so much for letting us come into your house, hang out with you. You know, we geeked out over Pokemon for a little bit, talked about freshwater, man. This has been super cool. Being able to hang out in Dallas, hang out here, check out your tank has been a lot of fun. So thank you again, man.
Thank y'all for coming.
This has been awesome. We'll definitely get these corals in the tank though, and we'll for sure. It's time for the fun part, and we'll give you guys all an update here at the end once we get all the corals in. But After we wrapped up the interview with Dereck, just a week later, he was in town on a road trip, and we had the chance to showcase the entire TSA facility to him, whether it be the retail store or our 30,000-gallon aquaculture facility. Jed had the chance to walk him through and take him on an awesome shopping experience.
All right, so last week we were at Derek's house.
And now I'm at TopShelf.
We spent a little bit of money.
Just a little bit, you know, just a little have fun.
And Paul's here as well, and that's kind of how we met, was through Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna step forward so it looks a little even.
Yeah, I'm as tall as the door, man. That's what's up.
So we're here shopping for Paul as well. Let's go inside.
Let's spend some money. Let's do it.
This is it, right here.
Holy hell. Yo, like, how you keep track of all this?
Yeah.
Oh, nah.
Yeah, it goes on for a bit.
Yo, this is insane. Yo, this is insane. Yo, I had no idea. I had no idea.
In the shop, bro.
Oh, no.
Crazy, bro. Look at that.
Yo, my heart is beating really fast. Like, my heart is beating really fast. All right, where's the flowy stuff?
All right.
Flowy
What you're
stuff.
gonna want to see is over here.
Let me see the torches, the hammers, the ganies. The acros look beautiful, man. I've never seen some acros this big in person. You better show me something I'm gonna buy.
Oh, you might hit you.
Holy,
Watch your head. Watch your head.
Holy hell. No way.
The torch.
Yo, that is bigger than my head.
There's about 50 heads on there,
I'm
probably.
about to say. That's a fish tank right there.
Yeah, that's a fish tank.
That's a house.
That looks sick. That looks sick. Like, there's some stuff that, like, the camera really don't do justice. That was like a jellyfish.
I think it's like right in front of you, Gio.
What's this?
Oh, that's
That's a grafted digi. What's it called again?
contraband.
Yeah, contraband digi.
But like, that's sick. I want that to happen in my tank.
Yeah, it's called the contraband.
Yeah, contraband digi.
Interesting. I like that one.
Dude.
I'm getting everybody something for the tank. That's all I gotta say. That's sick. I need that one. You guys gave me that
I'm in the
one.
farm right now with Dereck.
That one. I love that one. Not for sale? What's that?
Hey, boo-boo.
You know, I love stuff that's not for sale. I feel like a kid at a candy store. I keep just like, what's that? What's this?
This one right here is the Riddler. That's just the regular green
So that's
dragon.
called the Riddler, like the villain.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And then that's Green Dragon on the right.
Yep, green dragon.
Very simple.
gold
I like the
honeycomb.
convict. Wait, no, not contraband. Contraband.
Yeah, the digi.
What's this? I've never seen that before.
Nymph of Ona. That's actually one of my favorites. It's a classic piece, but it just has a really unique growth pattern.
Looks like lettuce.
Yeah, it's called a lettuce plant.
Is it?
I'm about to say it looked like a lettuce cabbage. Well, lettuce patch, whatever it's called. Don't quote me on that.
High growth song.
So I have to
Yeah.
duck the whole time. Sorry if y'all looking at my butt.
That thing is clean.
Like, these are the biggest acros I've ever seen in person. Like, this is insane.
That shit is clean.
What is that?
Cyphastria.
What's
Jingle
this?
bells. That's going to be Death Spiral.
Death Spiral. Interesting name.
Like, how do people name these?
That's what I'm saying. It's sticking out on this end, it's this color, and it looks like this.
Yeah, what we can have it do is search the website. These are all of our coral names.
Uh-huh.
What don't we have yet?
We gotta get the multicolor one. What's the fans gonna like? What are the fans gonna like? Exactly.
We
You
got
gotta
the
be something
Daisy
bright
Dukes.
though.
On the Daisy Dukes over here.
Daisy Dukes.
It's these bright pink ones. These are one of my personal favorites.
All right, so we get some Daisy Dukes.
Okay.
All right, Daisy Dukes, #1.
I'm liking either this one or
Super
two
Saiyans?
behind. I'm Super Saiyans. Hell yeah, we getting the Super Saiyans. I actually need some of those.
Okay, I got you.
Give me.
Okay.
Did we get that one, Gio?
That's pretty clean.
Star Fox.
Star Fox.
Yep.
All right, perfect. We're getting those three. Three
Okay.
corals count as one coral.
All right, we'll get the other 3 from the store then.
Store. All right, beautiful. Count as one.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Do I have this torch?
It's similar to the one we got, but not exactly.
Okay, if it's similar, no. And then you gave me a bunch of these.
Yeah, that's the one we got like that
The
wall.
wall.
Up. Yep.
Okay. You need some hammers.
Yeah, the gold hammers.
Gold hammers.
We
for
grow
sure.
all those in house, so we can definitely do those.
What's this? So there's the frog spawn that's
yeah,
like
the
this.
pink octo.
What's the below it?
That's just the bicolor hammer. That's this one.
Okay, so we got 2 hammers. So we got 2 corals so far.
You saw the clam?
No. What clam?
No, at your house. You had the clam.
Oh yeah, I thought you had a clam here.
I mean, I do. Big ones.
Ooh.
Those are monsters.
And those are Durasa, so that's actually the easier type of clam to keep.
Like, that'd be kind of cool.
All right, but what size though? They got small, medium, large, XL.
XL. Name it Dereck.
Yeah, we gotta get the big dog. We gotta get the big clam. Yo, my purple tank, they're beautiful. But the lavender tanks as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause you got one. I remember that was the first time I heard of one. I was like, ooh, I like that.
Achilles stack. That guy's beautiful.
I put the powder blue over the Achilles.
Yeah. I can see that.
But the powder blue is too weak. It's not a hardy fish.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
This is my favorite fish. But I can't have it with the coral. Like when they're young, they're beautiful. Because they stay that way when they're big, or no, they change color, right? Exactly. They go like yellow. They go like this guy around the corner.
There's none in this tank.
I swear y'all have one.
No, we don't have.
So what's that?
Looks very
It's a
similar.
majestic.
Majestic.
You have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was quite the adventure here in today's video as we were in Dallas, back here in Orlando, but I wanted to give a big shout out to Dereck for letting me come into his house, check out his fish tanks, and talk about the hobby. I have to say, I think we're gonna see a little bit more of Dereck here on the channel as we're trying to get him a little bit more addicted to the salty side of things. If you guys have hung out all the way till the end, I wanna say thank you very much. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future uploads.